Welcome back to Friends at 5. During the peak of summer heat, News 19 is receiving calls from renters facing air conditioning outages. Joining me to talk about renters' rights and what steps tenants can take to alleviate their concerns is Protheroe with the South Carolina Appleseed Legal Justice Center. Now, for folks who don't know about how you all serve the community, let's go ahead and start there. How do you all help?
Sure. So we're an advocacy organization for low-income families in South Carolina, and we do that in a lot of different ways. We do advocacy at the State House, trying to get good laws passed and prevent bad laws from being passed. We do litigation, which is the part that I do, impact systems change type litigation to try and improve the lives of low-income families.
I got you.
And we do sort of public education and information to try and raise awareness of issues.
Well, let's talk about the education.
Yeah.
Let's say folks are calling here and they say, hey, my air conditioning is out. I'm renting a spot right now. What's your number one tip to folks to say, here's how you can do this next step to get that air back on?
Well, first step obviously is pretty much to reach out to your landlord, preferably in writing. Texts and emails are great because they make that pretty easy. You build a record of when you told them what the problem was, how you told them, and then you kind of go from there. There's a couple of different options that tenants have, really depending on how serious any kind of a problem is. So if an air conditioning outage is causing a real health and safety issue, a tenant's got an option to go down the road of terminating their lease if their landlord will repair it in time. And that time is generally considered about 14 days for those kinds of problems. So you can give a written notice, say, if you don't fix this within 14 days, I'm terminating my lease and moving out. The other option is you can try and fight and get the repairs made. You can go to magistrate's court. You can ask the judge to order that those repairs be made. But those are basically your two main pathways, go or stay.
Adam, during the break, you told me, do not withhold your rent.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Legally, it's kind of a gray area, and there's some arguments that you can make. Practically speaking, it's almost always a bad idea, because what happens more often than not is a tenant withholds rent. They say, let's say, landlord's not fixing the air conditioning, tenant withholds rent to try and get the landlord to do it. They end up in eviction court, and that's not a great place to be. Those cases move fast, and the consequence if you lose is you get kicked out. So you'd rather be the one filing the case than having the case filed against you.
Right, and then I'm sure if you're kicked out, they can use that against you when you're going to another place.
Even the fact that the case gets filed can sometimes create problems from you down the road. So ideally, stay current on the rent, be the one that's done everything right, and if you have to go into court, you do it on your own terms.
And ideally, you told me, always read your lease.
Yes.
We don't want any bombshells.
Right. Air conditioning is one of those potential bombshells because it's not considered an essential service under South Carolina law. So landlords aren't required to provide it under most circumstances. And there also is an option for them to say that they don't have to repair it as long as they do it in writing in the lease. Air conditioning is almost considered the same as like a hot tub or an espresso machine. It's just not considered essential, unfortunately.
And that really surprised me, especially here in South Carolina. Now, Anna, real quick, tell us, how do we get in contact with you all if someone is listening and they need your help?
Sure. We have an email address, which is probably the best way to reach out for questions. It's info@scjustice.org.
Thank you so much for sharing your insight, giving us some good tips. We always appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks.
stay with us. Much more right here on Friends at 5.